Hello lads and lassies and welcome to a different kind of video. So I just got done playing Dead Space 3 and the DLC Awakened. And that's me gone through all the Dead Space games apart from Ignition and Extraction, but it's the main ones. Now, I'm using Dead Space Mobile in place of Dead Space Remake because I have no idea how to use this website. And I can't be arsed to go through and get images for every single one of them, so please do excuse me, but yeah, I just wanted to go through them, rank them, and just talk about them for a little bit. But yeah, as always, if you do enjoy this, remember to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe for more. Support me on Patreon, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, links in the description. And yeah, let's get into it. So we'll start off with the OG, Dead Space. So as you know, I played this for the channel recently, and it's fantastic. Hasn't aged well in some areas though. Mainly that the turret section is jarring. I fucking hate it. It's frustrating and bullshit, and it did not need to be in there. But it is the birth of the franchise, and it is incredible, honestly. The horror is great. The lighting still holds up to this day. I think that's a big part of why it still holds up is the way the lighting works. Isaac doesn't talk, which takes you out of it a bit, but you know, that's just the way it was. But absolutely stellar start to it. Absolutely brilliant. But I'm going to put it in A because, well, we'll get into it. I'm going to do this in release order. So Dead Space, and then we have Dead Space 2. Now Dead Space 2 I love even more now. I played Dead Space 2 before I played Dead Space 1 actually, and going back to Dead Space 2, holy shit, it plays so much better than Dead Space 1. So much smoother, so much... it just flows way better, and my god, it is incredible, honestly. The enemy diversity, the fact that, like, the amount of suits. There are some things I don't like I don't really like the fact that you have to buy guns now. I preferred finding them, but I guess it makes more sense that you're on this place is still established and hasn't gone dark, is only just, like, turning now. But it's still something to where it kind of bugs me. And if you have the DLC, it can just destroy your shop menu and leave you so confused. But that's not a nitpick with the game. But apart from that, I think if EA choose to do more Dead Space, they should just take Dead Space 2 and give it the graphical overhaul that they gave it to 1, and that's it. Just leave it there, because I don't think anything can be improved there. It is incredible. It mixes action and horror so well, and just, like, you know, it just walks that tightrope of just perfection, and honestly, I adore it. And you guys probably guess where this is going. It's going in S, because it's amazing. Then we have Dead Space 2 Severed. This is a DLC that I had played before, only once though, and replaying it again. I know it is a continuation from Extraction, but I've not played Extraction, because it's a light gun game, and Ignition is just a shitty puzzle game apparently. But yeah, Dead Space 2 Severed. From what little I gathered, it was a lot of fun, packed an emotional punch. I would imagine it would be even more if you actually played Extraction. But it was a fun little experience, and for what you pay for it, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm gonna put it in the same tier as Dead Space, an A, because not as good as Dead Space 2, but still really, really good. Actually, I think Dead Space Mobile came out before Dead Space 2, didn't it? But that's going in place of the remake, so I'm being dumb. Tell you what, we're going to use Ignition or Extraction in the place of the remake, okay? Because I have actually played Dead Space Mobile, but it was ages ago. And from what I remember, it was a lot of fun. It was really, really well done for it being just, you know, on an iPhone, on like a phone. And it was a really cool prequel from what I remember. And the fact that it works on a phone and it played as well, there was still the dismemberment, and it wasn't just like a port, and it was you know, a shitty port. Fantastic, honestly. I'm gonna give it an A up there with Dead Space. Well, yeah, no, I will. I'll put it up there with Dead Space 2 Severed, and Dead Space. I'm dumb. That's Dead Space. Then we move on to Dead Space 3. Dead Space 3. I played through it when it came out. I didn't get it on release, but I got it like a couple months later and enjoyed it from back then. Played through it again in 2016 and still enjoyed it from what I believe. Then this year, and then last year I went back and just mopped up some achievements and didn't really enjoy it. And then this playthrough that I just finished, this will go up the day after this finishes, assuming it finishes on a Sunday. I just find myself so pissed off with it. The writing is horrible. They completely ruin Isaac and Ellie's character, more so Ellie. They put in a needless love triangle between Ellie, her new boyfriend, and Isaac, and it's just so cringe. And Ellie gets over stuff so quickly. Like, she can be so smart one minute, and the next minute be like, what do you mean, oh, fuck, I forget his name. Is it Robert? I think it was Robert. What do you mean Robert tried to shoot you? He knew the mission was the most important thing. He'd been saying the whole time that he wanted to get off the planet and that it didn't matter. What part of that says the mission is the most important thing? God, she's so dumb. But anyway. And the fact that she doesn't come back and at least try and rescue Isaac and Carver is just so dumb. I hate the way the weapons work. The weapons bench is fine, but by the end of it, I just find myself getting pissed off because it ruins the pacing. In my opinion, it slows you down because you have to think about how things go together, how things work, put the damage upgrades in. Whereas I prefer Dead Space 2's. Like, I still prefer Dead Space 1's where you find the weapons. But Dead Space 2's is way better where you can just buy them and that's it, and that's the weapon, not you can mix and match them all. I kind of hate that in Dead Space because it ruins the pacing. And obviously the microtransactions is just horrible. And there's so many shootout sections with other people shooting at you that it just infuriates me because it is not the game opens like that. And it is not Dead Space. It is fucking shite. Oh, like, it's well made, it's well voice acted, the score is decent, but it's Call of Dead Space. It is infuriating, honestly. So, yeah, well, I mean, there's a specific tier here for this. Dead Space 3. Yeah, so, it is what it is. Dead Space 3 Awakened now. I'd never played this before until this year of 2023. It was the one DLC I hadn't played. And I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It brought back the horror. You didn't shoot one enemy that shot back at you, which was awesome. It introduced new enemies with cultists. And the ending slaps so hard that I kind of wished we got a Dead Space 4. But honestly, though, I had so much fun with that DLC. It was great. Went back to the horror aspect. Just brilliant. I'm happy I played it because I wasn't gonna, but I'm happy I did, and that is easily gonna go up to A. That was wrong. That's going up to A. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. And then finally we come to the Dead Space remake. It's an S tier. I love it. I think it is fantastic. Yeah, honestly, it takes Dead Space 1 and irons out all the annoying stuff, all the stuff that was kind of needless, and then goes and makes it even better by making it like open world, backtrackable. Oh, it's fantastic, honestly, and I hope and pray we get Dead Space 2 with a graphical overhaul, and then a proper Dead Space 3, because Chef's Kiss is brilliant. I love that game so much. The horror is great. It looks gorgeous. The fact they actually had Isaac talking now is awesome. There's side missions where you can learn more about how Nicole was handling the outbreak and just absolutely fantastic. I'm so happy that it got made. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So I'm very, very happy with how that's turned out. But that's my tier list for the Dead Space franchise. So Dead Space 2, Dead Space Remake, Dead Space 1, Severed, Mobile, Awakened, and then EA fucked it. Because none of these, like, apart from Dead Space 3, none of these games are bad. Like, I might move that down to a B just because it's a bit. But, just an incredible franchise, and I'm so excited to see where it goes in the future, so yeah, let me know what your ranking of the Dead Space games would be. I'm very curious to know. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you did enjoy this, remember to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe for more. You can support me on Patreon, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.